Woo, here's a hot take on this week's episode.
I have found that it's at the moment when you're like, okay, no one came to my book signing. No one bought books. I've only sold 2 books, or I paid for this and this didn't work out, or I did this webinar, I didn't learn anything. I joined this group. Keep going, because every day you have an opportunity, every single solitary day, because you only need one client, one business contract, one sponsor. You only need one to
Level
get
up,
going.
don't look back, let's go. Set the pace, watch me steal the show. Higher ground, yeah, I'm rising fast. This is my moment, it's built to last. Keep the focus, keep the drive. No slow motion, I'm alive. Power surging, can't deny. I'm unstoppable, touch the sky.
Welcome to the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show, Dr. Brenda Combs.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
It
Happy
is so
Thursday.
happy Thursday, or whenever you're listening to this. I met Brenda at a women's conference and I sat next to her and I just loved her energy. And I heard she was a world-renowned keynote speaker and wanted to have her on the show for my own selfish reasons, because I want to hear your story, but also to share her with all of you who listen to the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant show every week. And we so appreciate your loyalty. Let me tell you a little bit about Brenda's background. Brenda is known as the ambassador of inspiration. She rose from homelessness and addiction to become a nationally recognized speaker, a best-selling author, and a founder of SHERO Entrepreneurs. She empowers women to rise above adversity, reclaim their confidence, and build purpose-driven lives. She's an example of what's possible when you refuse to give up. So tell us, Brenda, how did you rise from homelessness and addiction to becoming the successful author, keynote speaker, and you're known as the ambassador of inspiration? Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, my story starts back when I was 5, and I realized that's when I had my first experience with trauma. A little boy that I went to school with just did not like me. I'm such a likable person, too. But
You are.
this kid did not like me. And he surrounded me one day with a bunch of other boys, calling me names, kicked me, threw mud in my hair, spit in my face, and then the ultimate, he called me the N word and pushed me down on the ground. And I was humiliated, afraid. I ran to my teacher to comfort me, to make me feel better. And she yelled at me and told me, "Brenda, wipe your face and get in line." And it was at that moment I feel that my self-worth, self-love disappeared, because I was fearful and I didn't know how to have friendships or relationships. And I was always afraid. And I made the decision that I needed to graduate from high school early, because those kids, I just had nothing in common with them. That's what I thought. So I thought, if I go to college and, I'll be around more mature people, this will be a better environment for me. So I graduated from high school early, started college, and realized I'm a teenager in a young adult world. I didn't fit in there either. However, I did meet that one group in every college across the world that welcomes everybody. The party girls. They welcomed me with no judgment. Hands down, I was one of the crowd. I felt like I fit in. I felt like I had friends. I felt a part of. But I also realized I was immature and didn't know what I didn't know. And these girls could party, but they would get up and go to school. I couldn't get up and go to class. And my first downfall was I ended up dropping out of college. That started my first descent that led me down a dark path, because once I stopped getting an education, I stopped myself from having certain options, choices, and opportunities. And but I continued to party, and then ended up with a boyfriend who did drugs, which then introduced me to drugs. And before I know it, it seems overnight now, but I became a drug addict. And I became a hardcore crack cocaine drug addict where I ended up homeless for 10 years, living underneath the 7th Avenue Bridge in downtown Phoenix. In that time frame of being homeless, I was beaten, I was abused, I was trafficked, I was shot, stabbed, burned with cigarettes. I was hit by a car, overdosed, and of
Oh my
course,
gosh.
people like me in that type of traumatic um, kill or be killed, survive mode. Of course, I tried to commit suicide multiple times, but I wasn't even successful with that. I didn't even realize then that there really was an authentic purpose and journey for my life. I was just spinning in despair and just felt like there was no hope for me until one day, 10 years later, I wake up in an alley after a 7 week binge, after being beaten and left for dead overnight. I wake up to find someone had stolen the shoes off of my feet. A homeless woman, half alive, laying on a couch in an alley, and someone took the shoes off of my feet.
Oh,
And it changed my life. I had to walk a mile with no shoes on in 115-degree heat in Phoenix, Arizona, to get down to the park where the homeless were. And when
wow.
I made it to the park that day, something inside of me just broke. I literally just said, okay, God, I'm done. I, ca- I can't do this anymore. Either you have to take this away from me or you have to take me because I'm done. I just can't do it. So I went and turned myself in. I was on probation. So I was like, well, I guess she's going to probably sign the warrant. I'm going to go to prison, but maybe this time I'll be able to go to rehab, get clean and sober, go back home, make amends to my family, and then maybe go to school and, maybe make something of my life. That was my plan. And as you can tell from my history, my plans weren't always good plans.
Yeah, well, I like the saying, women make plans and God laughs. God laughs. So, how old are you at this point when you thought you were going to go back to school?
I was 35 at that point. So I was a late bloomer when I started drugs. I didn't do any drugs or anything like that when I was in high school, but late. And it was because I really never dealt with my trauma. Once I turned myself in, my plans didn't go that way because my PO refused to sign the warrant. Instead, this woman looked at me, and I feel she looked into my soul because she said, Brenda Combs, I don't know how to explain this, but I see something in you. And I
Mm,
know that you don't love yourself. And I'm going to love you until you're able to love yourself. And I want you to go to assertiveness training. I want you to go to the Center Against Sexual Abuse so that you can deal with your trauma. And then I want you to get an education so that you can take care of yourself because I know you can be a productive member of society. And
wow.
it made me cry because here's someone of authority who could have sent me to prison, who didn't have to care, who didn't have to have any type of sympathy or compassion, but yet I'm sitting in front of her homeless, dirty, smelly, and she's telling me that I can make something of myself. So I took her up on it. I went into my 13th rehab program. The
Wow.
difference was I was in a position to listen and take suggestions. And that's
And what was
exactly
this
what I
woman's
did.
what was this woman's name?
Her name was Michelle. She was my PO here in Phoenix, Arizona. And
And
I
was
was able to connect with her, Michelle Elbow. I was able to connect with her years later to thank her for believing in me because it helped me save my life. I had to do the work, but it took that person, it took this woman to see something in me and push me into a positive direction versus just signing the warrant and making me an award of the state.
she
And it,
changed your life, and it's amazing how one person's decision completely changed your life. So You went to
Yes.
your 13th rehab, and then what happened?
And I got out of rehab and I hit the ground running. I enrolled in school because I realized she was right. Here I am, I'm clean and sober now, but I'm still a woman of color who used to be a homeless drug addict with no education and no skills and nothing to give to society. So I went back to school and I completed my undergrad in human services in 2 years. I completed my master's in special education. It was a 3 year program. I completed it in 1 year, and that got the attention of the White House. And at my
Woo!
graduation, I was honored by former First Lady Laura Bush and President
Incredible.
George W. Bush, naming me Distinguished Teacher of the Year. It was an amazing honor.
Congratulations. That is such
Thank
an honor.
you. It was and a shock. Even more shocking was a week later, I got the phone call from CNN, and they surprised me on air. I was named a CNN hero, and I received a full ride scholarship to be in Grand Canyon University's first doctoral program. And I am in the first graduating class of doctors. I completed my doctorate in organizational leadership with an emphasis in education. After that, I was on the Today Show. I've done Oprah Radio twice. I was on the Wendy Williams Show. I've done a lot of, press and media. And but I was able to turn my life around, and I didn't realize that I already had inside of me when I was that 5 year old little girl who was afraid of Grover. I had the Shiro mentality in me then. I just didn't know how to use it. Today, it is my mission and my calling to help other women share their story, to know that everyone is intelligent, capable of achieving greatness because they have what it takes to make their goals and dreams become a reality, and to realize don't hold yourself hostage to your mistakes or your past. And
Mhm.
more importantly, you have the power. You have the power of love, you have the power of forgiveness, and always remind yourself what other people think about you. None of your business because you're not in competition with anybody, just yourself, to be
Yeah.
the better version of yourself every day. Because I believe what is for you. The clients that are supposed to be with you are going to be with you. The clients that are supposed to come to you, they're not going to go to me or anyone else. They're coming to you. It's divine intervention. So to me, there doesn't have to be any malice of feeling like there's competition, because believe me, there's more than enough for everyone to reach their goals and dreams. You just have to believe in yourself and not give up, because the road is not always easy and
Yeah.
it's work.
Well, that's the definition of an abundance mentality, that there's no need to fight over money, love, clients,
Mm,
attention, likes, comments. There's more than enough to go around. And it's that
right.
feeling of there's more than enough that actually creates more wealth and abundance, where the feeling of scarcity, like, oh
Mm,
my God, that girl's looking at my man, or oh no, that person stole my client, that actually creates more lack. So
yes.
I love that you are speaking from an abundance perspective. Before we go to the commercial break, the turning point in your story was this woman, Michelle. What did she say to you, that because you've been to 13 rehabs, like what happened in the 13 rehab that was any different, that made you realize that you were meant for a bigger life?
She gave me a workbook. I don't remember the name of it right now, but I do remember that I had to write something about my fears, my emotions. And what she saw based upon what I wrote was that I was living a life of fear. And
Mm,
my fear was because of all of the sexual assault and abuse that I had endured, that I could not get past. I could hear a song and I would freak out. I could have a certain smell or commercial on TV or drive past a street, or something would trigger me to go back into that mode of I'm fighting for my life. And
mm,
she basically told me that until I healed the little girl in me, then the big Brenda, the big girl Brenda, the Brenda who could make her dreams come true, would not be able to fly. And so she literally held my hand and directed me on taking these classes because, when you're a victim of assault or trafficking, I had a really hard time looking people in the eye, even women, especially men or anyone of authority. I just had shame and guilt written, tattooed all over me. And I carried myself with just no worth, no self esteem, no nothing. And by her encouraging me and literally making it a directive, because I didn't want to do it, because now I have to relive some painful memories and
Yeah.
share them with a stranger. Um, but it was the best thing that I did because it taught me, it gave me tools and resources that I could use to get through those moments to where now I can talk about it without crying, without feeling shame, without feeling guilt, and knowing that I can help another woman or young girl who has experienced or is dealing with these issues. I can help them because I've made it through and I'm on the other side and I live a very happy, abundant, blessed life. I'm not holding myself hostage, and I'm not allowing my past to hold me hostage and take me back down there.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing so vulnerably, Brenda. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant show, where we're taking you from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant by aligning your life. When we come back from this commercial break, Brenda's going to talk about how faith, mindset, and resilience play a role in creating your balanced, beautiful, and abundant life. We'll be right back. I am so excited. I created something special just for you. It's called the Balanced Beautiful Bundle. And inside this bundle, you're going to get instant access to a PDF copy of my best-selling book, How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. You're going to get my best health and beauty tips to help you glow from the inside out. You'll get my Elegant Warrior Manifesto, a daily reminder of your power, grace, and purpose. You'll get my Abundance Journal to help you manifest more joy, love, and prosperity. And you'll get a daily journal reminder to keep your mindset strong and your energy and your vibe high every single day. This bundle is your shortcut to balance, beauty, and abundance in an elegant way. So grab your copy now by going to the show notes and start living your most balanced, beautiful, abundant life today. Hey there, it's Rebecca, your magnetic abundance mentor. Let me ask you something. Are you feeling stuck, burned out, or like life just isn't as juicy as you know it can be? If you're nodding right along, it's time for a breakthrough. My coaching program is designed to help you align your life in all 7 pillars of abundance: spiritual, physical, emotional, romantic, mental, social, and financial, so you can finally live that big, bold, sexy, and adventurous life you deserve. And here's the best part. I'm inviting you to schedule a breakthrough call with me. No pressure, no sales gimmicks, just a genuine chance to experience my coaching firsthand and get crystal clear on what is next for you. Because your best life is not a someday thing, it's a right now thing. So click the link in the show notes to book your breakthrough call and let's start making magic together. Your next level is calling you. This podcast review is from Bring It On, and she says that the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant show is amazing and inspiring. She goes on to say, I believe this show is a place where women can come and really learn and grow. Rebecca creates a strong and safe space for women to share and be vulnerable. I highly recommend this podcast. Thank you so much. And it is absolutely a safe place for all women to come and learn. Thanks for being a great listener.
Don't look back, let's go. Set the pace, watch me steal the show. Higher ground, yeah, I'm rising fast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Whitman. I am interviewing Dr. Brenda Combs. She's been on Oprah. She's been on the Today Show. She is very well known in the world of personal growth and transformation. So, Dr. Brenda, how do faith, mindset, and resilience play a role in creating a balanced, beautiful, and abundant life?
For me, it was the anchor. I was raised in a spiritual household. I was always taught to treat others with love and respect and to be kind to others, to help when you can, and to not judge others. That's how my family raised me. They also did not raise me to think that I could be an entrepreneur. It was more like, just don't make any waves, follow the trend, so to speak. And what I realized at a young age is that I'm the trendsetter, not the trend follower. And but with that, my faith played a big part because I firmly feel that everyone's journey when it comes to recovery is different. For me, I feel that when I said my prayer, like, Lord, I don't want to be a homeless drug addict anymore, and I need you to take this away from me so that I can heal. I need to be healed. And I feel that the Lord healed me because I have not smoked crack from that moment, and it's been over 30 years. That's what
That's
worked for me. I did go to like Celebrate Recovery, going to meetings and whatnot, but really what worked for me was going to church, going to Celebrate Recovery, and then writing. Writing and journaling was a way for me to release my thoughts, my pent up energy, frustrations, ideas, and goals. I've been writing since I was 8 years old. And I took that with my belief system and I turned it into my passion. I realized what my calling was to share my story, because by sharing my story, I'm letting others know that everyone has a story. We all have been through life's journeys, but I can now let others know by being so open and vulnerable and transparent that absolutely nothing, no matter how far down you go, how far back you fall off, you can make a comeback. There's a song from the movie Sister Act. It's if you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. The time is now, not never. You can make your dreams come true, but you gotta wake up and pay attention.
Your voice is beautiful. Oh my God, are you a singer too, on top of being an author and a keynote speaker?
I am a singer and I do have music on iTunes. Um,
Beautiful. Wow, thanks for singing for us.
that song, even though it was in a movie, a comedy movie, when I heard that song, I was watching it in one of my recovery sessions. And that the lyrics spoke to me like, Brenda, if you want to be somebody and if you want to go somewhere, you got to wake up and pay attention because the time is now, not never, right now. Don't put things off for tomorrow. The only reason that dreams don't come true for others is because we stop. We stop believing, we stop dreaming, we stop putting the work in. And we're kind of like we want everything right now society. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
everyone does. That's truthful, but the reality is that it takes work and it takes energy and time, and it's going to take money, and it's going to take some sweat and some prayers and maybe some tears. It's going to take connecting, collaborating, sharing, finding a safe circle that you can connect with and bounce ideas off of. It's going to take a whole village to help you, but it has to start with you, because the village will come and help and support when you get in the right circle, but you have to be the one to say, okay, I'm a shero. I am ready to take my stand in society or in marketing or social media or business or for whatever whatever it is that you want to do. You already have inside of you what it takes, but now you got to do the work. And you got to close your mind to the haters. My therapist told me what other people think of you, Brenda, it's none of your business because not everybody's going to be a fan. But not everyone's going to be a hater. Not everyone's going to support you, but that doesn't mean that they hate you either. Those
Mhm.
that are supposed to come to you will come. They will come. I guarantee you they will come. More importantly, if you're doing what you like, what you love, you are in your calling and in your purpose, everything will come. You will feel blessed. You will have an abundance of happiness, peace, joy, love, wealth, and happiness
I
because
love it.
you're the author. You're the one who can write the story. You write the ending of your story. None of us wrote our beginning, but we certainly can write the direction. Whether our story is going to be horror, comedy, mystery, suspenseful, happy ending, it's up to us because we're in charge.
I love it. I was listening to a training this past weekend, and it was a sales training. He said 1/3 of the people love you no matter what you do. 1/3 of the people don't like you no matter what you do. And the other 1/3 don't even care about you. They're just self-obsessed and focused on their own life. So if
Yes.
2/3 of the people you're powerless over what they think, and 1/3 love you, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't matter what they think about you anyway, because
Right.
thirds of the people aren't paying attention to you or don't like you, and the other third loves you. So just focus on what you need to do. And like you said, write your story. And we're both, in the 12 step world. I had a sponsor tell me there's 3 types of business. What other people think of me is none of my business. But then there are 3 types of business. There's my business, God's business, and none of my business. And what other people think about me is none of my business.
Yes.
And why focus
Amen.
on that, right?
Yes.
So a lot of the show is about preventing burnout and overwhelm, and you're
Mm.
constantly filling people up with your beauty. I mean, you're so motivating in how you deliver, and everything about you is just pouring into people. How do you prevent burnout? Because if you're constantly pouring into others, how do you stay filled up and not get depleted energetically and in your spiritual practices?
That is a great question. Now, for me, I live by a calendar.
Mm.
I put everything on my calendar. That includes my self care time, getting my nails done, my lashes, my brunch time with my girlfriends, time with my date night with my husband, vacations. I learned to also, I feel that the biggest thing that I learned is how to say no.
Yes.
That's a hard one. That was a hard one for me, saying no and delegating because I'm sure there's not an entrepreneur on here.
Oh, no. So if
Yeah.
a woman is suffering from the disease to please, she's
Yes.
codependent, what are
Mhm.
some tips or advice on how to set boundaries and say no?
From my perspective, what I have gone through is that if there's the slight hesitation in your mindset about the ask, the reach, the question that's being presented to you, the slight hesitation, that's automatically a no. Because if there's any hesitation, now your mind is trying to figure out, okay, how can I squeeze this in? How can I don't want to. No. Saying no is really beneficial. It's a way of saying yes to staying on track to your purpose, because
Mhm.
you can't say, I have been in a position where I've said yes to almost everything, and then I'm not good for anything. I'm not
Mhm.
good to myself or for the clients that I serve on a regular basis. The best thing that you can do is realize how full is your plate? You only have so many slices you can fit on it. And you have to be a big portion of the plate. Because if you're not taking care of you, and I can't preach this enough, and I know you agree, if you're
Yeah.
not taking care of you, all of the other pieces of the plate or the pie or the puzzle are not going to be healthy. They're not going to be whole. They're not going to be strategic. They're not going to be wisdom. They're not going to have the knowledge. It's not going to be the best that it can be because you're lacking. You have to take care of you first. That's one of the most important things to even running your business or your product or your brand. And then from a spiritual perspective, me personally, I meditate, I pray, I really try to get quiet because I spend so much time speaking and helping others. I
Yeah.
get into a quiet space so that I can have more blessings poured into me. I take the time to listen to scripture, to other speakers, to podcasts, to music. I always want to have a place of peace. Today, just for perfect example, today I had a little bit of a stressful moment about 2 hours ago, and I came in and I turned on my music and just started taking deep breaths, taking it in, blowing out the negativity and the stress. And just those few breaths were able to help me calm down because I have to remember who I am, who I belong to, and I'm not perfect. Mistakes are going to be made, but stop holding myself hostage. Really, self-care and being authentic with yourself. Those are key.
Yeah. I like to say that messy is the new sexy because I'm a recovering perfectionist.
I love it.
And done is better than perfect. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
what
And
is your, go ahead.
I was going to say, just being transparent,
Yeah.
for me, being transparent is being real, and people want realness. I want to be able to relate to others, which is why when I make mistakes or things don't go right, I mean, I feel that as a leader, I also owe a responsibility to show the mistakes. And because if everyone's just seeing all of the highs, it can be a little misleading because as an entrepreneur, not everything goes as planned. Things happen. I mean, stuff happens, but I want to be honest about it so that the women and the communities that we're serving, can learn from because if I can prevent someone from learning a financial mistake or a hard mistake that I made, by all means.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, what is your morning practice? Tell me from the moment you open your eyes to what is the morning ritual like before you get on your business calls?
So the first thing I do when I wake up is I'm thanking God that I'm still here.
Mm,
That's first and foremost. And then I usually pray for my family, my friends, my loved ones, that our day, that the Lord will lead, guide, and direct us, that He will wrap His loving arms around us, and that we will be good examples of love and service to others. The next thing as I do is I actually have these little cards on the side of my table. I usually will pick up the card as I'm also taking my morning vitamins and my supplements and read the card. And, it kind of gives me like a little bit of an inspiration. The next thing that I do is I write my sober message to the sober living community and my house managers. I'm in about probably 100 sober living groups. So I write my sober message every morning, and then I upload that into all of the arenas, check
wow.
my schedule. Then I brush my teeth, get my coffee, blah, blah, blah. I don't check my emails because I also work from home. If I'm not, I have 2 days where I deliver food to the community. And so if on those days, it's a whole different start. But on my work from home days, I usually don't even get into my office until after 9, just doing those things. And then I start the emails and going through the day.
So you have your supplements right on your nightstand.
Yep.
You take those first thing.
Yes, every morning.
Amazing. And when do you exercise?
Uh, I don't know. I won't say that I necessarily exercise. I do go to a line dancing class, but I
Fun.
feel that once a week. I do feel that I exercise because Monday and Wednesdays I'm delivering and picking up food in the community. It's physical work.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
s- and I'm
Walking
60.
is
I'm
great exercise.
yes. I'm hitting my steps and
Yeah.
then some every day as
Yeah.
a 63-year-old woman.
Oh my
So
God, you look
I
amazing.
feel I feel that that's like I'm not going to a gym, but I am going up and down stairs, and I'm out and about. We have 5 sober living homes, so I'm out and about in the
That's a business that
community.
you have other than your speaking?
Yes, I run sober living homes is almost like my day to day. My husband and I have
Mhm.
a sober living business, and I'm the executive director. So I'm in direct contact with the house managers, some of the residents. I'm going to all of the houses. Yeah.
Running one sober home is a lot because there's a lot of drama with recovering addicts and alcoholics, but five,
Right.
you definitely have your hands full. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the biggest lessons you've learned from rebuilding your life. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant show, where we're taking you from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. We'll be right back.
Keep the focus, keep the drive. No slow motion, I'm alive. Power surging, can't deny. I'm unstoppable, touch the sky.
Okay, can I be real for a second? You're out there crushing it in some areas of your life, but in others, it's like a hot mess express. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. You're not just meant to survive, you're meant to thrive. And that's exactly what I help my clients do in my coaching program. Together, we'll tackle all 7 pillars of abundance because who wants killer abs but a dumpster fire of a bank account? Or a thriving career but zero in the romance department? Yeah, no thanks. I'm inviting you to schedule a breakthrough call with me. No pressure, no awkward sales pitch, just you, me, and a chance to figure out why you're stuck and how to get unstuck. So stop doom scrolling and start doing something about it. Click the link in the show notes and let's start giving you your best, most bougie life. You in? Are you ready to reset, realign, and rise into your best year ever? Join me January 23rd through 26th at the beautiful Amara Resort and Spa in stunning high vibe Sedona, Arizona. We'll set powerful intentions, create customized affirmations, and design vision boards using my 7 pillars of abundance framework so that you can make 2026 your most aligned and abundant year ever. You'll enjoy deep connection, breathtaking views, and total relaxation at the newly renovated Amara Resort, complete with a luxurious spa, fitness center, and zero edge infinity pool. Spots are limited, so head to the show notes or message me directly on Instagram at Rebecca E. Whitman to learn more and claim your spot today.
Don't look back, let's go. Set the pace, watch me steal.
Welcome back, everyone. We are on the mic with Dr. Brenda Combs. She is the epitome of the comeback. She went from homelessness to being a doctor to being a successful entrepreneur. So, Brenda, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned about self-worth and rebuilding your life from the ashes?
The biggest lesson that I've learned, and we've kind of already talked about it, it literally is the biggest lesson I've ever learned in my life is that no matter what I do, what other people think about me is none of my business. For
Yeah.
me, I've been, like many women, I'm going to say, a people pleaser. I don't want someone to be mad at me. I've wasted years tears,
Yeah.
emotions. I probably have encyclopedia journals of documentation of me pouring my heart out on these pages because I've allowed myself to get to that place to where what people thought about me really held me down. It was a crutch. That
Mhm.
right there was huge. And once I realized, as we said, no matter what I do, who's going to love you is going to love you. Who's going to support you is going to support you. And those who are not, it's none of your business. And I think for everyone, the moment you can seal that in, lock that into your mental and emotional filing cabinet, it will change your life because you won't stress and obsess over people who 90% of them probably aren't even thinking about you. But we get this into our emotional DNA. We get this into our heads. We get this into our hearts. It almost becomes part of daily life of being concerned and consumed about what others think. And what it does is it stops us from focusing on our goals. It
Mm.
actually slows us down from reaching the end result. It puts a damper on our purpose and our passion because we're not putting 100% of ourselves into it because we're so engrossed with what other people think. That's the number one thing that I have to say, that if you do that, everything else is going to fall into place. Because if you're not concerned about what other people think, now you can 100% focus on what you need to do to reach your goals and dreams, and being all that you were called to do. We were all called and created to do great things. And great things could be being a janitor or a cashier or starting a corporation or a daycare or taking care of seniors or police. It's whatever you want it to be because there's no competition. You're not competing with anyone. No compete and what other people think about you. If you master those two things, you're on the road
Yeah.
to success.
You're in the high vibe tribe and on
Yes,
the
you
track
are.
getting everything you want. And I like don't take anything personally because I think that's
Yes.
been my biggest lesson, and that's from the book The Four Agreements, is I would take things so personally because of my own childhood trauma. And just I've spent hours and tears and sleepless nights of taking things personally. How people treat you has nothing to do with you. It's their own stuff that they project on you, and you
Yes.
choose not to take it on. I like the analogy of a hula hoop. I can only control what's in my hula hoop, my own thoughts, feelings, and actions. What's outside of my own thoughts, feelings, and actions, I can't control that.
Exactly. Yeah. None. So that's why you're wasting your time. I wasted time. I'm sure you've wasted time. I've wasted tears, energy, and money being
Yeah.
concerned about what other people think. I have bought certain things to be seen because I thought that, no, it was a total waste. But once I changed my mindset and I practiced it, because it's easy to say, okay, what other people don't think about me is none of my business.
Right.
It's easy to say, but I had to daily put it into practice. Just like when I went into recovery, it's daily. You pray daily, you meditate daily, you work on your purpose and your passion daily, you work on the business daily. You don't take time off from taking care of you. It's a daily thing. And once you do, it becomes routine, it's natural. And now, with no hesitation, I have no ill will if someone doesn't want to support me. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. We don't
It's a
have to be friends. It's okay. And I can still love and like you, and it's okay because what other people think is none of my business.
Now, when we went out in Dallas after the women's event, we were at a country western bar where they were line dancing. Why didn't you jump in? I had no idea that you were like a trained line dancer. You
Well, and that was such a fun experience because we literally just met, got in a car with total strangers,
right.
went to this amazing country western bar, and I had the time of my life
And I ended
because
up getting you on the dance floor though, not for a line,
yes,
but we danced. Remember that?
yes, we did dance, and I think I got some of it on video.
I need that video, Brenda. So let's talk about your program, SHERO Entrepreneurs. What does it mean to be a SHERO?
To me, every woman is a shero
Mm,
because every woman has a unique story. Every woman has a unique vibe and a passion. Every woman has the ability to make her goals and dreams become a reality. Because as sheroes, we are all sisters. We're
yeah,
on the same team. We feel the same. We have the same emotions. We were created to be daughters of the King. And I feel that there are so many women whose voices have been silenced, who
mm,
have been stolen, who've been ripped from them, who've been told no, whose doors and windows were closed or were never open to begin with. And I feel that every woman has something to offer another woman and
yeah.
society and the world, and we can do that together. So I started Shero Entrepreneurs. Actually, I started in 2018. It was a dream. And I started with 5 women. My community has now grown to over 482 faithful followers. And I just recently published a book, Shero Entrepreneurs. We became a #4 international bestseller in 72 hours.
Congratulations.
Yeah, sharing stories of women from all ages, all walks of life, all ethnic and cultural backgrounds and belief systems. And we came together and shared our story to encourage other women that if you believe in yourself, you can make your goals and dreams become a reality. And we, as leaders and successful entrepreneurs and businesswomen who've made it, we feel a responsibility to share and to help you get to that next level. And so that's why I started this community. And I am so proud of what I've accomplished. As the owner, but really what I've been able to help other women accomplish and how we have come together as a community and support each other and pour into each other and help each other. And more importantly, a safe community, because trust for a lot of women, my speaking for myself, trust, it was a huge issue
Mhm.
coming from my background. So being in a community where you can trust, you're going to get authentic feedback, you're going to get real conversation, you're going to get women who truly want to pour into you and give you good advice and suggestions and or collaborations or networking. And I never had that when I first started. So I thought, okay, let me just create my own. And here we are, Shero Entrepreneurs.
I love it. How does somebody participate or join?
Well, I am actually going to be on Monday. I'm going to be reaching out, letting people know that I'm going to open up for my volume 2 book. I'm looking for 10 to 15 authors who want to share their story. Well, I won't say authors. I'm looking for 10 to 15 women who want to share their story. You don't have to be an author or a writer because most women don't have time to write a book, but every woman I know has time to answer 10 questions. Answer these
Oh, okay.
answer these 10 questions. I take care of everything else. That way now you have a book. It gives you another platform. The book opens doors, it opens opportunities for you to take your business, your platform to another level. It opens up for speaking opportunities, for being on a podcast, for doing radio, for hosting book events. You're able to promote your business and your brand. It's just another way to help you elevate and to keep your goals and dreams and passions going. So I'm going to do another Shero Entrepreneur Volume 2 book. We'll be starting in January looking for authors. And again, I'm just looking for any woman who wants to share her story to whatever level of degree that she's comfortable sharing. And again, it's an easy process. Answer 10 questions, we'll take care of the rest.
That is a very simple and streamlined process. And it is great to be able to say that you're an author. So
It
that's
it is.
fantastic. So, what can you say to a woman who is scared? She's scared to tell her story, even to answer those 10 questions. She's scared of rejection. She's scared of failure. Maybe she's tried to be an entrepreneur before and it didn't work out. Maybe she invested money, she didn't make it back. Maybe she asked her friends and family for support and they said, that's never going to work. What would you like to tell her who's listening right now?
Oh, I've got the answer for her. What I want to tell you, if you've done all of those things, keep going, because tomorrow all of those things could happen. I have found that it's at the moment when you're like, okay, no one came to my book signing, no one bought books, I've only sold 2 books, or I paid for this and this didn't work out, or I did this webinar, I didn't learn anything, I joined this group. Keep going, because every day you have an opportunity, every single solitary day, because you only need one client, one business contract, one sponsor. You only need one to get going. So at the moment when you feel, okay, that's it, I'm done, I promise you the blessing is right there. It's right around the corner. That's where the enemy, if I can say that term,
Yeah, sure.
wants you to quit. He wants you to quit right then and there, because literally the blessing is right there. Because had I quit and given up, and yes, I've had moments of wanting to throw in the towel. Oh, this is too hard. I don't think I can do this. And I've had someone to encourage me saying, Brenda, just sleep on it. Tomorrow's a new day. Brenda, just pray about it. Tomorrow you have another opportunity. And as long as the Lord blesses us to wake up tomorrow, you have another opportunity. So maybe you try something different. Because if you haven't tried everything, because once you've tried everything, everything is going to work. You'll get to what works. The key is to never give up. Never. And if this doesn't work, try something else. This doesn't work, try something else. Reach out to a different group. Sometimes be vulnerable and
Yeah.
go in circles where you don't know any. My very first networking event, I didn't know a soul. I didn't even know how to network. I was petrified, but I made it through. I made it through. And if I can make it through, you can make it through. Rebecca, you made it through. All of your viewers can make it through. The bottom
Yes.
line is you just have to keep going,
Yeah.
because if you stop, you'll never know. But if you keep going, you're going to continue to get new ideas, new motives, new suggestions, maybe some new ways, maybe rethinking, rescaling, starting all over. But as long as you keep going, you will get there. It's a guarantee, because if you don't give up, you'll make it.
Beautiful. That is such a great way to end the podcast. Incredible. I'm sure there were many times that you wanted to give up because you made such a dramatic comeback from homelessness to doctor to best-selling author, and you had to give yourself that same pep talk, or your community did. And I know you have had, some great people around you, mentors, sponsors that were like, Brenda, just don't quit, don't give up. And now look what you've accomplished. So congratulations on all your success. I love the way that you speak. It's just so motivational and inspirational. I know my listeners are going to want to stay in touch with you, follow up. How can they find you online, and what is your website?
My website is Dr. Brenda Combs, drbrendacombs.com. I'm on every social media platform: LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Lemonade, Fanbase, Threads, Substack. What else is there? X, YouTube. I'm on every platform. My email is drbrendacombs@gmail, keeping it simple.
So you are very findable.
Very
And
findable.
follow her because she's got so much inspiration. I've loved every minute of this conversation. I loved hanging out with you in Dallas. I can't wait to see you again in person. Everyone will
Yes.
have to dance again.
Yes,
And
we will.
everyone, thank you so much for listening to the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show we have been ranked top 50 in the United States under education out of millions of podcasts. So keep spreading the word, keep sharing podcasts like this wonderful one we did today with Dr. Brenda Combs. Take a screenshot of yourself listening. Tag me and Brenda on Instagram. We'll reshare. Message us on the live. If you're watching it on a live stream, message us and say, this was my biggest takeaway, or ask us a question. We want to interact with you. We want to hear from you. This is a two-sided conversation. And everyone, we're so grateful you're on the journey of transformation, of going from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. And until we meet again, keep your vibe high and magnetize. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Brenda. So excited to share a review from Melissa Myers, the Glow Girl. She says, inspiring podcast. Rebecca has a gift for creating meaningful, empowering conversations that leave you feeling inspired and uplifted. Balanced, beautiful, abundant is like sitting down with a wise, soulful friend who truly wants you to thrive in every area of your life. I love how she blends practical advice with spiritual insights. I'm so grateful I found it. Well, Melissa, we're so grateful that you found us, and we can't wait to find out how you are glowing and growing by using this podcast as a tool. And everybody who's listening and sharing, thank you so much for your support. And it's such a joy to be on this journey with you.